And we're back here for another Walking Dead review. Here this time for episode 19 of season 11, the final season. Now, I'm a little bit late to this review here. I just got back from New York Comic Con, so some of you all may have already checked out episode 19 on AMC Plus. But for the folks who are waiting till October 16th to check it out on AMC, I'm here to bring you that non-spoiler review to get you hyped and prepared for this week's episode. And wow, was this a crazy episode. But before we talk about that, let's talk about New York Comic Con. What an amazing panel. A lot of news came out. And just a lot of good things in all terms of Walking Dead. Seeing the cast, them sharing some of their fondest memories of filming, some news about the spinoffs and whatnot. So we got a lot of good Walking Dead content to look forward to, even though we're on the final ride for the premiere show in The Walking Dead. So, the flagship show. So, even though we're not going to have this show, we still got a lot more to look forward to. And this was a good weekend. So, yeah, nonetheless, I'm late to this review, but I'm here to get it knocked out for you. So, let's jump into it. Episode 19. This one is Variant. So, you could check it out on AMC Plus as of October 9th. And then you can check it out on AMC October 16th. So, the title being Variant, I already knew we was going to get something crazy. And sure enough, we did. And it's not even a spoiler. Variant. That's a word that we've heard, that we know that correlates to the walkers, as we've seen variants. And sure, they've only been exposed to maybe one or two types. Like we know we got the roamers and the lurkers. And we know they've heard of the other ones, but had they actually ever experienced one? And I only could imagine that we were going to get something crazy in this episode. But before we get to that, we got our opening scene focusing on Eugene and his memories, his times on the show, which was a lot of good stuff. Like, I love Eugene as a character. So going back, looking at some of those moments, it's very critical and important moments of this character's arc. Definitely hit me in the feels, But getting right back into the crazy of the Commonwealth now. Now that Sebastian Milton is dead, Eugene and Max are the prime suspects, and everybody is looking for them, especially Pamela. So they're on the run, and with them being on the run, it's only a matter of time before Eugene goes back to his folks, which makes all of them also in the crosshairs. So we're getting everybody basically looking for Eugene, looking for everybody who was brought in with Eugene, from everybody from Hilltop and Oceanside, everybody. And they're being interviewed because Mercer is the one after them. So you have to think about this. If Mercer is after Eugene and Max, Mercer ain't gonna really do shit to his sister. Like, that's just what it is, So it's definitely all about to fall on Eugene. And we know how Eugene is. He's more nonviolent. He really stands up for his friends. That's been sort of just the person he's been. He saw things in people when people didn't see that in themselves. And his relationship and his trust with Max definitely means that he's going to do everything he can to try to protect her. And he's definitely not going to leave without her. So with that, everybody is on pursuit looking for them, and the other folks are being brought in to basically give statements about where their whereabouts was at when all this was going down. On the other hand, we got Aaron in the group, and with this, you got a lot of different things kind of happening. A lot of good conversation. You have good conversation between Lydia and Aaron, which kind of reflects about his time with Eric. You have to think that Lydia and, there's a lot of different things kind of happening here. And I will say that, like, Aaron really being the leader of this group of four as they, go back to tell everybody the news and so on, and also deliver supplies. It's just a lot of just remembering, like, the very human side of this and the loss and the struggles that they've been on. But they got a lot coming because there's some very, very complications ahead on this road for them. Also going back to Pamela, like, with everything that's happened with Sebastian, Pamela has turned the page. She has a whole new attitude, and this attitude, she's not playing no games. We have not seen her in the likes of what we're seeing her like now. So expect to see a totally different side of her that is like going to shake some things up. With that being said, And with so much going back to the Aaron Group, with so much really heartfelt moments and a lot of just little romance and like, you know, a lot of different things gotta happen in here. You could only imagine that things were about to get crazy. You know, The Walking Dead is like to fluff you up before they get into all the craziness. You know what I mean? And again, the title is Variant. It was only a matter of time before it was all going to come into play. And I gotta say, the action is solid, really, really good. And now we're starting to see things we've never seen. Well, they are starting to see things they've never seen before. We have, especially in Walking Dead World Beyond. So now that that's starting to become a play into this, it's really going to take things to the next level. And I think if you've seen or heard about the notes from the Walking Dead panel, we do know a lot of what's going to happen with Daryl's show. And you have to think, how does Daryl get there? When does Daryl get his first exposure to the things that we already know is where he's going? I don't want to spoil any of this because if, you know, I want you to all to kind of, you can look it up. Again, it's out there. So if you find it, it's fine. But I'm saying, look up what's the details of Daryl's story. And you have to think, how did Daryl get to where he's going to be at for his new story? When did he get his first exposure to what's going to be there waiting for him? And we know what's going to be waiting for him because we've seen it at the end of World Beyond. So now that we kind of see things kind of coming to the fold in the flagship show in The Walking Dead, it's going to be crazy how all these things start to connect. So yeah, things get very, very interesting. And this entire last part of this episode is intense. And Jerry gets busy. And I gotta say that there was some moments I was kind of like, all right, they're definitely screwed. Like, there definitely was some moments I was like, all right. And there definitely was moments that they didn't show us how they got out of certain things. I was wondering, like, hey, like Aaron, there's a particular moment with Aaron that I'm just like, all right, Aaron is definitely done here. But for somehow, Aaron was okay, you know? But yeah, like I said, Jerry gets busy. I love the action shots, the slowing, panning shots at the end of it was really dope. And yeah, the line of the entire episode is, how the hell did a walker do that? So yeah, what a crazy cliffhanger that this episode leaves us all on. There's a lot of things really brewing up. Things are getting crazy. Episode 19 is fantastic. Go check it out. But we'll be back on time next week for episode 20. Jump in the comments, let me know your thoughts about today's episode. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews and content of The Walking Dead very soon.